including this. Take a look.
I appreciate the ballerina who was released. It was at the request of a very good friend of all of ours, actually, Dana White.
President talking about this Russian-American ballerina who has been set free at a prisoner swap, Ksenia Karelina. She had been serving a 12-year sentence in Russian prison. You know, they convicted her of treason, but the crime was like donating $50. I think it was $52 to a charity that was supposed to help Ukraine. President Trump's envoy for hostages, Adam Bowler, posted the picture. Here it is of her on the plane on the way home. She was swapped for a Russian-German citizen who's accused of smuggling American technology to help the Russian military. All right, here now, Bill Taylor, former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. Ambassador, welcome as always. Thoughts on this? You know, how the president's team and how they got this done.
Yeah, Colin. So it's very interesting that the Russians are trying to be cooperative here. They're trying. My sense is they may be trying to change the subject from the negotiations that are going on with the Russians and the Ukrainians to try to get to a ceasefire. So the Russians have been releasing some prisoners and doing some prisoner swaps.
Does it help in the larger discussions? I know there's supposed to be, I guess it's Istanbul for more discussions on the war and trying to get a ceasefire. How do these types of things, if they come into the news, relate to the bigger picture?
The bigger picture is that President Putin is stalling on these negotiations. And as we've heard from President Trump and from Secretary of State Rubio, the Americans are running out of patience. Their patience is wearing thin, they have said, with Putin, who is delaying moving forward on this ceasefire. And the ceasefire in Ukraine is one would argue, is the top priority foreign policy issue for President Trump. And so for Putin to be stalling is dangerous for him, and he wants to change the subject.
Any of that surprise you? I mean, you know the parties involved here in dealing with that region and dealing with Putin. So shouldn't we have seen some of that coming, the stall tactics?
We absolutely should. We absolutely should. And not only Americans have seen this, but the Ukrainians have seen this on stalling and violating ceasefires. I mean, the Ukrainians have no faith that the Russians will adhere to any agreed ceasefire.
How about these prisoner swaps when we give back the people we give back compared to the people that we have to? I mean, I guess it's the only way to get it done sometimes, though, right? You know, they accuse someone of treason for a $50 donation. We're giving back, smugglers and the likes. But that's the way it works.
That seems to be the way it works. I mean, it's good to have that person back. It's good to have her back. She, as you say, there was no reason for her to be picked up. It also underscores the danger, the vulnerability of Americans traveling in Russia. But there's no reason to be there. And as you say, $50 donation to a Ukrainian charity was the crime.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.